Hello and good evening. Again, this is part two. Do narcissists love their own kids? So, this is going to be my experiences of why I wanted to share this particular information and how it personally um, affected me. Instead of that's better than the triggered because I didn't want to say triggered, I just couldn't think of a better word. So, how it affected me. Okay, so first of all, my mother made it very clear that she did not love me. She never missed a moment to tell me how much she didn't love me, how much she hated me, um, and all the other wonderfully hurtful things that she told me from the time I was 5 to when I finally went full no contact. And I don't remember what age that was anymore because it was so long ago. But narcissists can show a form of love to like a sibling or something like that. But it is never going to be unconditional, and it is never going to be love like what you would expect a parent to have for their child. It's always going to be it's always going to be based on how much the child can please them or get them what they want, or there's just narcissistic people are so freaking complicated. They are so scary smart. It's incredibly complicated. Anyway, so my mom showed a type of love for my brother and a definite disdain for me. And an extreme jealousy and competition, if you will, regarding me. A narcissist definitely does not see their child as a person. My mom saw me as competition. She saw me as a way to make money. As I've mentioned in other videos, that my mom sold me to one man for sure, but possibly two. So I was sellable property. She saw me as her personal confidant, I guess, from like 5. Like, she would make me go to bed with her, not sexually. She would make me, when she was ready to go to bed, she would either pull me out of my bed or just tell me to like go sleep in her bed so that when she went to bed, I'd be there. And then she would, if I was sleeping, she'd wake me up. And if I wasn't, then she just started talking. And basically, I was her therapist and her sounding board from 5. Like, she laid all of her worries on me. She laid all of the financial strain on me. as well as she blamed me for why we couldn't afford all these things we needed, when in actuality it was because she drank so much that we didn't have money for food, didn't have money for clothes, we didn't have money for the things that we needed, because she was always drinking it and going to bars and spending all of the money. And my dad sent way more money financially for child support than he was made to by the court. And it still wasn't enough, because my mom didn't use it for what it was supposed to be for and just decided to drink it instead. So, but it was apparently my fault that we didn't have food and we couldn't pay our bills, and she laid all of her fears on me. And I'm telling you, for a 5-year-old to listen to your mother crying and telling you all of her worst fears, and some of the things she said to me were terrifying. Like, actually, a lot of what she said to me was terrifying. She had so many fears about being attacked, and so many fears about just all these different things. And she's telling me, a 5-year-old, about the great detail of these fears. And just basically, if she wasn't beating on me, if she wasn't telling me how much she hated me, if she wasn't being absolutely fucking cruel, she was using me as like her friend to confide in, to lay all of her fears and doubts and worries on, while at the same time making sure to throw in, by the way, this is your fault, in there as well. And it's just so overwhelmingly mind-blowing for a 5-year-old to have to take on all of this worry, because I am a very empathic person, and I just feel things from people. Like, I can know things by just walking into a room. I can usually tell if you're a good person or a bad person just by seeing you for a couple minutes, like. So I already carried so much guilt because she told me all of this shit was my fault. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep swearing, but she told me all of this stuff was my fault. And mind you, I'm also still to blame for the reason my dad left, and I'm the reason, for just everything. It's all my fault. So I'm taking the blame for like everything, and I'm feeling like it's legitimately my fault that we're having all these problems, because why would my mother be saying these things to me if it wasn't true? She's my mother. She's supposed to love me. She's supposed to take care of me. Why would she lie to me? Why would she be mean to me? My child brain couldn't understand how these things were not my fault. So I took everything she said to heart. I took everything so absolutely personal. And she literally destroyed the inner child in me by putting all this pressure and blame and guilt and worry, so much worry. Are we going to be able to pay the bills? Are we going to be able to have food? Or are we going to be homeless? Or I shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. I'm 5. I'm supposed to have a childhood. I'm supposed to be able to play. I'm supposed to be able to have fun. I'm not supposed to listen to my mom's problems and be her punching bag. And regardless, this is what she did. I wasn't a person. I wasn't a child. I was whatever she needed me to be. A punching bag, confidant, somebody to blame, a scapegoat, a transactional purpose. Like, I was not a human being. And actually, when my stepdad became part of our lives, I even, for a couple years, lost the right to even have my name. My humanity was taken away from me to the literal point that I didn't even have my name anymore. I was called 2 other things that I'm not going to repeat. And they were very, very, very hurtful for me to hear. But those were what my name was, depending on the day and depending on their temperaments that day, I guess. I don't know. But regardless, it's just they don't see you as a child or a person. And yes, as soon as I started showing my independence, as soon as I started disagreeing with her, as soon as I started trying to get my own identity, oh my goodness, she just could not handle that. Like, that just totally just flipped her out. It says, so they may compete with their child. Absolutely. My mom saw me as competition. Absolutely. Like, I was constantly told by other people, like we'd be at the store or whatever, and people would often stop and say to her, "You have such a beautiful daughter. You must be so proud. And she's got beautiful eyes. She's got beautiful skin. Look at her." I had long hair, like middle of my back, maybe longer. I loved my hair. It was long and thick and black and just beautiful. And I know it's not black anymore, but that's because I like being a redhead. But anyway, but I was extremely proud of my hair, and my mother knew that that was the one thing that I was the most proud of, the one thing that I treasured more than anything, was my hair, and I took such good care of it. And I think I was between 8 and 10, but I'm really thinking I was like 9, but I can't remember exactly. But there's a lot of ways that she was competitive with me, and a lot of really awful things that she did to me to rectify, I guess. I don't know what word. So, excuse me. Basically, every time somebody complimented me, but not her, I faced some sort of consequence for that. Whether it was she destroyed something that I was wearing that I got complimented on, or just there's just a lot of things. My mom was extremely, just so very jealous of the fact that she had a beautiful child, and instead of being proud that she had a beautiful child, just like you always do, I don't know why my watch just decided to start playing my playlist, but I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't do it again. I'm really not sure what the hell, just set that off. I love Linkin Park. Anyway, or I like their older stuff, should they? Anyway, uh, when I was complimented, instead of being proud that she had a beautiful daughter or proud that, you know, whatever, she punished me. She made me feel like shit, like just absolute worthless crap. So even though this person just said, "Oh, you have a beautiful daughter," she, by the time we got home, she'd be telling me all the ways that I wasn't beautiful. When they said that I had beautiful eyes, she told me all the ways that I didn't, just basically stuff like that. So, anything that she could break down, destroy, and hurt me with, she did. There's one story in particular that I want to share, but it's kind of long and I'm already at 16 minutes. So let me check real quick. Okay, so before I tell this story, also some parents will also live through their children. It says like treating them like a trophy, not a human being. So there's a lot of parents, narcissistic parents, that will live their dreams through their children instead of letting their children be who they want to be. So, like, say, mom wanted to be a dancer when she was a child, but for whatever reason she couldn't be, or maybe she was, and then she was injured as an adult and then had to stop. Well, if she has a daughter, she's going to want her daughter to pick up in her footsteps and then be a dancer as well. And she might not, and she's not going to care that maybe her daughter wants to be a teacher, or maybe she wants to do something else. That's not going to matter. The daughter is going to have to grow up doing dance lessons and whatever it was that she wanted to improve on with herself. She will make sure that that child gets the training and the whatever to be the best dancer like she was, and then maybe even go further than she was, so that she can take pride in living through the child. Doesn't see the child as her own individual self. She sees herself in the child, and she lives her dreams through the child. And then if the child pushes back and says, "Mom, I don't want to be a dancer, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a doctor," or whatever, then mom doesn't handle that very well. And then abuse and other things, can just get worse and whatnot. So, and then let's see. So anyway, yeah, I pretty much covered all that. So then I'm just going to talk about this experience real quick. And I am apologizing that the video is already 18 minutes long. If you're still here, I'm thankful that you have listened this long. And if you're not, then obviously I understand that it was long. So I want to talk about one thing that my mom did that really destroyed me, and it was the ultimate way to compete or destroy me. So we had been at like a store or something, I don't know, and this kind little old lady come up to me, and she doesn't say anything to my mom. She's just like, usually the people will talk to my mom and then talk to me, but this little old lady, she just came up to me, and she's like, "Young lady, I just wanted to tell you that you have the most beautiful, thick, long, gorgeous hair that I have ever seen. And I really hope that you understand what a privilege it is to have such healthy, gorgeous hair. And I really hope that you are doing everything that you can to take good care of it. And I can tell that this lady at one time loved her hair and probably had beautiful hair. But at that time, her hair was very, very thin and falling out and white, I guess, because I mean, she's old, obviously, very, very, very old. And I can tell that she's talking about my hair because at one point in time she either had beautiful hair or she's always wanted beautiful hair. But regardless, my hair meant something to her. So I talked back to her and said, thank you so much. I really love my hair and I take very good care of it. And I do know that I am lucky to have beautiful, healthy hair because that's what she said, beautiful, healthy hair. So I repeated that. I said some other things. I don't remember, but we had a nice little conversation back and forth. And the whole time I am feeling my mother's energy changing. Now am an I'm an empath. I feel people's energy, vibes, whatever. Like I had to learn this as a child to survive. I had to know what people, not that I can tell what you're thinking, but I had to be able to learn how to read the room, so to speak. Like I can walk into a room and I can tell who's hurting, who's really happy, who, like I can also tell if you're a good person or a bad person pretty easily, really quickly after meeting you. I just have that ability. And I think a lot of severe trauma survivors also have that ability because it's literally a survival instinct. You have to learn this or you're not going to make it. So I'm feeling my mom getting angry. I'm feeling my mom's energy changing. I'm feeling that for some reason she's very upset with this conversation. And I'm not really sure why, because it's a good conversation. This woman's being very nice. Like I'm not quite sure what her problem is, Again, I'm a child, like I know enough to know that my mom, has issues with me, being pretty or whatever. But this wasn't the first time that somebody had complimented my hair. Like that was a very common thing. And like she never seemed to, like she always got mad, obviously, but she didn't ever get like this mad. So I didn't really understand what was so different this time versus all the other times that somebody said something nice to me. Sorry. So anyway, we get home and my mom is she's just angry the whole night. Like she's hardly talking to me. She's like giving me the silent treatment. I really don't know why this time. Like I hardly ever know why any of the times, honestly, but she's giving me the silent treatment. It's nothing new. She's angry. She's giving me evil looks. And I'm just like, I don't know what the heck I did. Did I say something wrong to the lady? I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong, Anyway, I don't know if it was the next day or if it was a few days later, but it was very short after this, after this meeting with, not meeting, this run-in, this conversation, whatever you want to call it, with this old lady. Excuse me again. My mom, so I wake up in the morning and I realize that I fell asleep with gum in my hair, which is something I didn't normally do. Because I was very careful with my hair and I took very good care of my hair. And I must have just been really tired that night, because usually I would take my gum out and I would stick it to my headboard and then I would just chew it again in the morning. I was a kid, a kid that was very poor, and so I treasured what I had and used it up until I couldn't anymore. But anyway, so I woke up and I realized that my gum was at the very, very bottom of my hair, which, and again, my hair was down past my waist. So I, thinking my mom should be able to get this out with no problem. I really should have just tried myself, but again, I'm a kid. I've never had gum in my hair before. I don't know what to do to get it out. I did try to pull on it a little bit, but I think that just kind of smushed it in a little bit more. So anyway, I went down to my mom and I was basically saying, "Hey mom, can you help me get this gum out of my hair, please?" And she instantly flew into freaking rage. Like, her face got red and she just starts screaming. Like, "Oh, so you're not taking care of your hair now? Oh, so you get told something nice about your hair and you've got to go and destroy it." Like, I'm like, this isn't what happened. Like, I fell asleep. I'm sorry. It fell out of my mouth. It's in my hair. Like, this has nothing to do with me not caring about my hair. Like, she's just freaking out. And she pulls me into the kitchen, and we had a table with a stool under it, and she pulls the stool out to the center of the kitchen and she forces me to sit on the stool. And I'm thinking, this is new. I don't know what's going on. She's really mad. I'm not thinking about what's really coming. I'm thinking, well, maybe she's just going to help me, get the stuff out. And yeah, she's going to be mean about it. Obviously, she's going to pull my hair. She's going to, hurt me. She's going to make me feel like crap about it. But I thought she was going to help me get it out. No. She gets out a pair of scissors and I realized she's about to cut my hair. And I got up and went to run, and she said, "Sit your ass back down on that stool or you're going to regret it." And I knew that had I kept going, I was not only going to get a severe beating from her, but I would also get one from my stepfather when he got home. And so I just complied and I sat on the stool. And she came over to me with a small mixing bowl and this pair of scissors. And as I am crying and begging and pleading with her not to do what I believe she's getting ready to do, she's still screaming, and she's still like incoherently screaming about my hair and how I take it for granted and I'm not appreciative of it, and like all these things that aren't true. But I can't say anything back, because if I do, she's in that mood where if I say anything, I'm gonna get hurt. So I'm just sitting there crying, shaking my head, Mom, please no. Please no. Please don't. And she just says, shut up. And she puts the bowl on my head and she cuts around the bowl. And I watch my long, beautiful hair fall to the kitchen floor. And I am just sobbing hysterically. And she goes, that'll teach you to never, or what you say, that'll teach you for not taking care of your hair, or something like that. I don't quite remember. And then she just walked away and left me sitting there on that stool, surrounded by my hair, crying hysterically. And I just remember feeling like I was just completely destroyed. Like, it's like she just killed a part of me. Like, my hair was just something that was very important to me. It, as it is to a lot of females and men, some males, hair is something that defines you as a person. It it accentuates or accentuates, is that whatever word I'm looking for, your personality and your creativity, depending on what you do with it, how you style it, how you color it, just hair is incredibly important to so many people, especially little girls. And I now had a bowl cut of hair on the top of my head that I now have to go to school with. I now have to deal with for the years it takes to grow out to a decent length. It took until I was probably in the middle of junior high to finally get to my shoulders, because my hair doesn't grow that fast. But my nails grow fast, but my hair doesn't. So anyway, yeah, it took me a very long time to grow my hair back out, and it's pretty long at this point. But I'm still trying to grow it out. I want to get it to the middle of my back, which it's almost there, but it's going to take a little while longer yet because, again, I am older, and going through perimenopause has definitely slowed a lot of stuff down. And it's not been a fun journey. But, it's just what it is. But I wanted to share that story with you because, narcissistic people are just so vindictive and so cruel. And this was all because of that old lady. I'm not blaming the old lady. I'm blaming my mother solely. But this was because that day, this woman stopped us and talked to me, didn't say anything to my mother. I don't even know if she looked at my mother. So I'm sure my mother felt invisible, and I'm sure she felt hurt because she wasn't talked to. And I'm sure that just amplified all of her other feelings of how much she hated me and how much of a competition I already was. And so as soon as there was a logical reason in her mind to take my hair from me, she had the perfect opportunity to teach me a lesson, because I got gum in the bottom of my hair, and she told me that I deserved to lose my hair because I was no longer wanting to take care of it. And so it was my fault. I've learned a lot through therapy regarding my mom, narcissism, why she did this with my hair, you know, and a lot of other things that she did, and that it was all ways to destroy my childhood beauty, my personality, my self esteem, my confidence. Um, she knew doing this was the biggest way to hurt and destroy me as a person. And she really, really scarred my inner child. I mean, I was already dealing with a lot, but having my hair butchered off in the way that it was, my hair was the only thing that I really had because of how poor we were. Like, yeah, I had some toys and, you know, whatnot, but my hair was the nicest thing that I had. And my hair made me the person that I felt like I was as at that age. Like, I can't really explain it. If you know, you know. Yeah, like if you understand how important hair is to a person and you understand all of the ways that it completes the person and your personality and everything else, then you understand. If you don't understand, I can't really explain it any better. And I'm already at 37 minutes, so I need to let this video go. If you have made it this far, I thank you immensely. And if you have not, I hope that you at least watch some of it, and whatever you got from it, I hope it helped. And if you are still here, I hope whatever you got from this helped you in some way as well. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And if you happen to make it this far, let me know. I'd really love to know how many of you actually made it to the end of the video. I am expecting there will be no comments saying that they made it to the end of the video. And I really have to make shorter videos. So I wish you all well. Take care, stay safe, and talk to you later.